Dr. Peter Boylan appears horrified that Saint Vincent's Hospital features religious iconography. But the real question here is, what normal person actually gives a rat's? This is Ben Scallan and you're watching Gript Media. Maybe this is a mad assumption, okay? Perhaps I'm way off base here, please stop me if I'm getting too crazy. But when it comes to Saint Vincent's Hospital, named after Saint Vincent, would you not say it's fairly understandable that such a building might feature the odd crucifix or religious icon? That's fairly understandable and reasonable, isn't it? I mean, after all, the hospital was established in 1834 by Mother Mary Aikenhead, a Catholic nun. Aikenhead, with the help of Catholic Archbishop Daniel Murray, created the hospital from scratch. It literally did not exist until they set it up. There would be no Saint Vincent's Hospital without them. And being Catholic people in an overwhelmingly Catholic country, the hospital naturally had a Catholic motif which it has maintained to this day. Now, that's not particularly hard to understand, is it? To most of us, this is so obvious and innocuous that it's almost boring and taken for granted. Unless, of course, you're Dr. Peter Boylan, in which case the idea of seeing a crucifix or being in the same building as a mass is apparently a horrifying nightmare. He said, "Thank you to the person who sent me these pictures taken an hour ago in the quote fully secular Saint Vincent's Hospital." He then proceeded to list the awful things allegedly taking place within the building, including mass in the hospital oratory, mass on hospital TV, the Blessed Sacrament being exposed daily, and much more. While Boylan claims that the photos were taken an hour ago, one of the photos that he includes contains a schedule on the wall for the first week of Advent, which would have been last November. So either the hospital staff have not updated their timetable in months, or this isn't even true and risks whipping up Irish Twitter into a frenzy of anti-Catholic rage and bigotry for no reason. Regardless, let's suppose that it's 100% correct and there are indeed masses taking place in a hospital established by a nun and an archbishop, even if it is now owned by the state. I think most normal people would react to that information with 3 words. So effing what? If you aren't Catholic and you hate the idea of mass, you can always just, not go to mass. Why is it that the same pro-abortion figureheads whose mantra was, "If you don't want an abortion, don't get one," seem to think that there should be no mass anywhere near their vicinity, even if others want it and find solace in it? Nobody is forcing you to do the Stations of the Cross or watch the Mass channel. If you don't like it, you can simply ignore it. Although I suppose throwing a tantrum on Twitter because you have to be near things you disagree with is an easier option. Even notoriously liberal Fine Gael equality spokesperson Jennifer Carroll McNeil says that having a chapel and a chaplain at a hospital can help, quote, on hard days. O'Neill is a self-avowed atheist with gender pronouns in her bio. This is not some radical Catholic fundamentalist. And yet even she sees the value in having a place to turn to a higher power when you or someone you love is sick. Many people find solace in religion in times of crisis. And if you don't, once again, you don't have to engage with any of these things. They are options present at the hospital for those who want them. Boylan later expressed outrage that a portrait of Mother Mary Aikenhead is still on the wall of the building and that the hospital says it will be continuing her mission. You mean her mission of helping the sick? Well sure, why would a hospital want to do something like that, right? I mean, if Boylan's position is that helping sick people is a Catholic agenda, then fair enough, but it's a bit of a weird hill to die on. And as for having Mother Mary's portrait on the wall, God forbid that the woman who founded the hospital should be given any acknowledgement or respect on its grounds whatsoever, right? It seems like Boylan's attitude to Aikenhead is, "Thanks a lot for the hospital, Mary, you can piss off now." What a lovely way to treat this great Irish woman's legacy. How absolutely charming. As we know, the hospital is being run by the HSE now and will provide all the services that Boylan wants. It will have abortions and IVF and all the other procedures that Catholic institutions usually oppose. So in other words, he has won. It's total unconditional surrender by the church. He should be perfectly happy. And yet, for the heinous crime of having a cross on the wall or a room dedicated for mass, he's ranting in Twitter threads about how upset he is with the current arrangement. It seems like he's not just opposed to Catholics being in charge of large institutions, he wants them stamped out entirely. It's the saddest and pettiest thing one can imagine. If people have an axe to grind with a particular religion, you almost wish they'd just come right out and say it, instead of continuing with this totally transparent, passive-aggressive sniping. Please like and share this video, and if you enjoyed it, please consider signing up for a monthly donation via the link on screen to help us produce more content like this. Alternative media like Gript needs all the assistance it can get, and every donation goes a long way. As always, thanks for watching.